Hey Studio Vegan family, welcome. So I'm going to be showing you guys today how to make my Mexican wedding cookies, which are super popular during the holidays. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Chef and Nicole Boyd. I own an e-bakery and I'm also a personal chef, and I'll be sharing some baking treats with you guys as well as how to start your own bakery at some point. So I'm going to show you guys what you're going to need, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification button. Let's get into what we're gonna need. So this is by far one of the easiest vegan recipes you will make. So you need your nut of choice. You can use walnuts or you can use pistachios, you can use almonds, use whatever nut you have available. You're gonna need some salt, you're gonna need vanilla extract, your vegan butter of choice, powdered sugar, and of course your all-purpose flour. And this can also be made gluten-free, but the texture will vary slightly. So this is everything you're going to need. Make sure your butter is chilled. Super important. To start off, I'm just going to weigh my powdered sugar. And you can use a measuring cup to put it in here. I'm just using a food scale. So we're gonna weigh it. Because you don't need a lot. Right, so that's the powdered sugar. And then we're gonna add in our butter. So for your butter, you're actually gonna chop it up. You're gonna dice it into pieces. So what I like to do is I like to cut mine in half. And the reason why I said to use chill, because it's so much easier to crumble up and kind of incorporate it into your flour. Mine's is a little bit on the softer side, but that's okay. I'm gonna chill my dough a little bit later. So you're just gonna cut these into cubes. I'm cutting mine in half and then just, as you can see, just slicing it and putting it into the bowl. The full recipe for this is going to be linked down below. It is actually in my ebook and also available as a PDF. So I am doubling this recipe because I am making a lot of it for friends and a few other people. So I'm just bringing you guys in close so you can see how I'm cutting the butter. Nothing fancy. That's what the butter looks like, and that's it. So once that's all done, the sugar and butter are together. We're going to cream that together until it's light and fluffy. And you know what that looks like. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second when I give you a close-up of my KitchenAid. Again, this can be done using KitchenAid. It can be done using a spoon in a bowl. It could be done using a hand mixer. So it should look something like this. It's nice and fluffy. It's meldable. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer though. And I love scraping my paddle attachment off just to make sure everything is off and everything's fully incorporated. Scraping down your bowl while baking is so essential. I cannot elaborate or fully explain why it's so important to scrape down your bowl every time in between baking. So once it's fully creamed together, we're going to add in our vanilla and our salt and kind of incorporate that a little bit. Now, once the butter, salt, and vanilla are in, we're going to add in our flour. And then I'm going to wipe off my cutting board. And I'm just going to chop up my nuts. I don't want them to be super huge. Nobody wants to be eating whole walnuts in their Mexican wedding cookies, Russian tea cookies, or Christmas-style cookie. There's so many names for these cookies. So you just want to cut them up as small as you possibly can. And I'm just, rough chopping them. Nothing fancy. Just, do what you can. I'm gonna show you guys what they look like when they're at a reasonable bite size for this specific cookie. So I'm using 2 cups of my nut of choice. Again, it varies depending on, how you want yours to look. So yeah, we're chopping. And they should look something like this, like that little piece. So once that's ready, I'm going to turn my mixer on and incorporate my flour. Now it's going to look a little wet, don't worry. That's because the butter is super soft. Don't worry about it. We're going to add it in our nuts next. So we're going to add in our nuts next. And I'm going to put them all in there. Like all of them. All of them. And then I'm also going to use and crush up the other nuts in my hand because, I mean, I might as well use them all. What else am I going to use them for right now? And that's what I was thinking while I was making these. I was like, okay, we're just going to use them all. So I'm just breaking them up in my hand into nice little sizes, and then we're just going to blend it until combined. You don't want to overmix this because you just want to make sure it's incorporated into the dough. You don't want to overdo it. So we're scraping our bowl down, scraping our paddle attachment down, and we're going to actually transfer this dough into another container so I can fully chill it. And also scraping down the bottom, getting that bottom, because sometimes, you know, dough is left at the bottom, ingredients are stuck at the bottom. So I'm just showing you guys, look at the bottom, look at that texture. It should look something like that. It's kind of like butter pecan ice cream, but not. That's what it looks like to me, at least. So I'm just scraping down my bowl with my rubber spatula, getting everything. So as I previously mentioned, once your dough is done chilling, we're going to take our 1 tablespoon scooper, or you can use a tablespoon or spoon to make these and just roll them into balls. And we're going to scoop them and put them on our pan. And so as you can see, I'm basically just scooping these balls with this tablespoon scooper. It makes the perfect round shape. Again, if you do not have a tablespoon scooper at home, you can use a spoon or a tablespoon. Once you're done scooping your little Mexican wedding cookies onto your tray, you're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees or so. 350 degrees, 325, and you're going to bake it for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay guys, once they're done baking and cooling, I usually let them cool overnight so they have a nice solid shell to them. You're going to place these in a bowl. You don't have to use gloves. I'm using gloves because I'll be giving these to somebody else. But normally if I was keeping these in the house, I would not. So you're just going to dump a massive amount of powdered sugar on these things. Why? Because that's kind of the coating. So you're just going to toss them around in this powdered sugar and they're going to become coated. The powdered sugar is going to stick to that outer part of this basically butter cookie with a peanut in it. And it is just so good. And then once they're done, you can package them. They're good for up to 2 weeks. And this is how I packaged mine to give to my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please watch more of my baking videos if you're interested down in the comments, and I'll also leave some links above.